Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is the new account week by week. We are on week 3. Today we are going to run through these topics: milestones, lessons learned, progress on the account, some quick hits of just some things I want to say that don't really fit anywhere, and then we got to talk about Beskar Mando and how the requirements changed and the ancillary effects of that move. And I think we're going to be doing something similar to this moving forward. I think we're kind of figuring out a format that I think is going to work for this theme of video. So first up, we have milestones. This we haven't done before, so we're going to run through weeks 1 and 2. But week 1, levels 1 through 42, we unlocked a bunch of 5-star characters. Squad Arena was unlocked at level 28. Level 40, we got Galactic War, and we were able to achieve a full clear on day 1 with the Imperial Troopers that we're experimenting with. Phoenix can do it as well. Separatist, I'm not sure if they can. I wouldn't be surprised if they couldn't. And then we were able to unlock Vader. Vader's very achievable. I'm not sure. I spread a lot of the love around with resources to make sure I unlocked him, since I was running with an Empire-themed squad in Squad Arena. But your results may vary on that one. Week 2, levels 42 through 51, we start slowing down on the leveling. 6-star characters I achieved, but 7 are definitely possible if you're focused. I wasn't as focused. I was trying to unlock certain things and certain characters to make sure that I qualified for certain events. Like, I unlocked Greedo so that I had another scoundrel for the credit heists and things like that. And I probably would have a 7-star Tarkin right now if I had it. Mod battles and challenges, those were unlocked, and I believe we got through mod battles 1 through 3 or 1 through 4 on the first week, and then we had those first set of challenges were unlocked as well. First week of Galactic Challenge, that I was allowed to participate in Galactic Challenge, I should say. I was able to beat Tier 1 all feats, but it was an Empire-themed Galactic Challenge, so that may have helped there. Legendaries are possible. I didn't accomplish any. Week 3, now we're starting to level up less than once per day. 7-star characters I achieved. Mod battles, all of them completed. Just today I was able to complete challenge tier 3 of health, so now I have 5 dot mods. Legendary R2 was unlocked. Not really the best legendary I could have gone after, but that's what my Squad Arena team could handle. And then Gear 7 was achieved earlier this week, and a number of characters are starting to get Gear 7. Upcoming week, we got some stuff to look forward to in fleet battles and stuff, but we will get to that later. Now we got the lessons learned for this week. I talked a little bit about this last week, but I had some new revelations. Mod battle is a great source of XP. Talked about that last week. They're also a great source of ability mats. The energy refreshes very quickly. The crystal cost is at 50. I'm going to be unlocking fleet arena battles pretty soon. My crystal income is going to jump up a lot. I'm going to be taking advantage of this in the coming weeks to make sure I increase the amount of ability mats that I'm getting, and not having to rely on things like the Omega battles that I don't qualify for everyone, or for the daily challenge that gives me ability mats. That's something that can be exploited, because it's a much better source per energy cost than it is Cantina battles, because of how slow Cantina battles are and how expensive it is to refresh that energy. Week 3 is a great time to start diversifying your roster a little bit, start planning ahead, because you're now starting to progress slower. So you can now start putting resources elsewhere because you're able to get caught up. In the previous levels, if you started putting gear on different characters, you'd pretty soon hit the next levels, and you would need to move on your Squad Arena team or your Galactic War teams, and you couldn't really afford to gear other characters if you wanted to keep up. That starts changing week 3. But don't overdevelop for Squad Arena. One, my priority for Squad Arena is to get in the prize tier that I want. It's not about beating the other opponents. That's not where I have my fun in Galaxy of Heroes. Like, what I enjoy the most is like strategizing my progression. That's the fun that I have in this game. So, but if you do like Squad Arena, pursue it. For me, I just want the rewards. Give me the rewards. The reason you don't want to overdevelop for Squad Arena is you want to have resources that you can apply to Galactic War on your schedule. What I want is to go into the Galactic War with a underdeveloped team, pursue it as far as I can, and then as needed start applying the gear. Because what I don't want to be is stalled out in that game mode, because it is a great source of credits, it's a great source of ability mats, it's a great source of shards and crystals. Full clearing is very important, and it's a good source of omegas, and you can't really get omegas at this point in the game, and Galactic War is one of your only consistent places to find them. And by the time you can apply them, you want it to have as many as you can. You should have 2 teams for Galactic Wars of different skill sets. You don't want to double up with your squads. So one of the things I'm finding is like Imperial Troopers and Phoenix, they double up a little bit and they're not able to beat, or they struggle against the same kinds of teams. But that's where the Separatists have come in handy, because where like there's a little bit of survivability with the Troopers with protection up, there's a lot of assists, there's some turn meter control a little bit. But what the Separatists give is a Dispel, they give control and ability block, they give shocks, and those different ability and class sets is really important to have at your fingertips for clearing Galactic War. If you have a bunch of characters that are doing the same things, they're both going to struggle up against the same walls. Avoid leveling your mods until you get the 5 mods. They are a waste of resources, and you can, like I talked about this a moment ago, but I have just unlocked 5 mods and I'm on week 3. Those credits you can't get back. You're just going to sell those mods because all those mods expire before the 5 dot. The only thing that I did with those lower mods is if I got a speed mod, I would level that up to a certain point and throw it on a character, and I might level it up to 3 or 6 because they were cheap for the most part, and see if I could proc a protection, because before tiers gear 7 characters you can't get protection otherwise. And the last thing is you want to prioritize qualifying for everything. Like at level 70, I'm going to be able to participate in galactic bounties, but bounty hunters have not been a priority of mine right now. But I want to make sure I have bounty hunters unlocked so that when galactic bounties comes back, and they're coming back next week or the week after for the Christmas holidays, there's a bunch of events planned. I want to make sure that I can participate in those events, and I'm going to be unlocking characters at a minimum of 2 or 3 or whatever I need for an assault battle or whatever, because success begets success in this game. You want resources, and if you are missing out on resources because you just don't want to do an unlock or level up to some minimum level, you are going to progress a little bit slower. It might be a little counterintuitive to like, you're not working on these squads right now, why throw resources at them? But it's just get yourself just enough to squeak by, at least at the first tier on a lot of those things. So here is the progress on the Squad Arena team. As you can see, they are all level 56. I'm actually at level 57. I'm just leaving them there until Galactic War and see what happens. Then I might apply some more and throw some more gear on. They're doing all right. Like they fall like a rock on defense. It is what it is. But they are great on offense. They handle Separatist fine. They get through Dooku pretty quickly. to a point where you don't have to worry about the counters too much. They struggle. They're a pain against Phoenix, but at this point, most teams are a pain against Phoenix. Now here's the rest of the progress. Mando's moving up into the farms. Now, everything else is about Fleet Arena right now. I am shifting a lot of my resources over to the Geospy, Geosoldier. Sunfac is an absolutely awful farm, but I'm working on him. Slowly working on Piet. Slowly working on Basil. There's a bunch of things I'm slowly working on because I don't really have the crystals for a node refresh. But I am doing the 3 energy refreshes. I got to spread those energy around. I'm probably going to focus this down once Fleet Arena is unlocked and I have more crystals where I can just afford to do node refreshes. 150 crystals is really all I can afford to spend right now without going negative. Quickly just talk about what I'm doing in each of these stores. Cantina Battle Store, I had been on Stormtrooper. I'd spread around some resources on Boba Fett, on Ahsoka, and on Chopper, but now I'm focused on finishing off Stormtrooper. And just right now I'm just trying to save up some of these. This is a slow store for me right now because I'm not refreshing the Cantina store. Guild store. I threw some stuff on Colonel Stark because he's going to be a priority soon for me, but really I'm saving everything for Sunfac, who never shows up. He just never shows up. And then I'm looking at these gear pieces. Some of them I buy. Like this one I buy sometimes, but I'm satisfied with 4. Nobody needs it right now, so I'm just going to forget about it. Squad Arena, I'm finishing up Tarkin. He's going to be at 7 stars tomorrow. And I'm going to just make sure I'm ready for Fleet Arena. In Galactic War Store, I'm just hoarding right now because I'm going to be hitting level 60 in a couple days, at which point the Geo ships are going to appear here, and I want to throw those resources at the Geo ships. So quick hits, I was actually going to complain about Sunfac being an awful farm, but we already complained about that, so we are moving on to the second quick hit, which is Ahsoka Tano. She has been great for me, and I have spent no resource on her. Let me tell you why. So last week I talked about using the Journey Guide as a great resource for progressing your roster. You can get a lot of crystals and credits here. That you get a surprising amount of credits from these early tiers. And some of these legendary characters that you're not actively working on, you can still beat. And that's why I want to talk about Ahsoka, because she helped me beat tier 3 of Yoda without having to put a lot of investment. So let me show you where I have Ahsoka at. Like here's where these Jedi are for tier 3. We only have Ezra and Kanan leveled up a little bit. The rest are at level 40. They have tier 1 abilities on, except Jedi Consular has a little bit extra on healing. Phoenix, they have like ability 3 or 4. Ezra's a little bit more, but Kanan's like ability 3 materials. Before you have to put the purple stuff on. I don't want to put the purple stuff on them. But Ahsoka is so powerful here because of how her leadership works and how her kit works. She's really effective against Yoda and allowed me to beat this a lot earlier than I otherwise would have. So she adds a ton of evasion, and Yoda keeps missing when he goes for these big hits. And the other thing is the foresight. Ahsoka dispels on basic and she ignores the foresight. So she's able to keep getting rid of the protection up. She gets rid of the foresight, and she has an extra heal, and she's going to help heal up Kanan in a moment. And because of that dispel in the basic, I keep calling her in for the assists when there's buffs. If there's not buffs, I'm calling in Kanan for the little extra damage. But that's one little trick that I figured out that helped me get 50 extra crystals and I think it was 300k credits. Now we gotta talk about Mando. What CG just did is just changed my plans and changed what I think the beginning of the game is, because they're now going to be the go-to first journey character. The other journey characters, I mean, CLS and JTR are pretty accessible these days, but they are pretty old. And you have the ancient journey characters, but they're a lot harder to farm for. These guys are easy, and this is player friendly, but that's not why they did it. They did this because of all the excitement Mandalorian is bringing to Star Wars in general, and they're trying to pull in people who are interested in the game again and kind of want to see what has happened. They want to hook those players, and those players want to play with Mando and Baby Yoda. That's why they have done this move. This has changed things for me. I am now going to be working towards unlocking them. I played through the first 4 tiers with my roster, and it's not even. It's fun because it's a well-designed event. It's not fun because there is no challenge. My gear is just crushing everything. I'm going to do each of those tiers with this account at the minimum star level and the minimum gear level. We're going to do a lowest viable teams tier by tier, because the star counts change each level. The mod and ability requirements change each time. We're gonna take it slow and see how it goes. But this did not just change the beginning of the game. This changed Chewie. Like I started this new account partly to record Chewie footage, and now those plans are completely different. Because even basically up until today, when these characters were put on low energy nodes, the Chewie event was still super hard because the only cheaply accessible bounty hunters was Boba Fett, Dengar, arguably, he doesn't show up very often, Cad Bane, IG-88, and Greedo. Using those characters to beat the event, which I did through 6 stars, is a nightmare. Then I unlocked the 7-star version with Bosk, because by the time the second time Chewie came around, I had Bosk. But Bosk is on a high energy node. Jango's on a high energy node, and the other bounty hunters don't really help too much on this event because they're weak. They don't offer enough control. At least Cad Bane and Greedo, they have a role to play, or they used to have a role to play, but now Boba Fett and Greef Karga are more accessible than Jango and Bosk. So that means that Chewie event is way more beatable than it ever has been, and I will be exploring to figure out what that level is. Because now you have protection recovery, you have retribution, and you have disintegrate. So we'll need to see which contract is going to get things off fastest for the event. We'll see. I mean, I guess we'll test it out with my current account, because they're all like gear 11 and a couple gear 12. Yeah, but we're pivoting. We're pivoting to Beskar Mando characters. Not completely, but because they're slow farms, but they have moved up in priorities as one of the lowest viable teams that we will be doing, in addition to Chewie and for Grand Arena, because they are now going to be the first journey character I go for Grand Arena. Very happy about this move. Very surprised by it. It's definitely changed a lot of the things that I was thinking about for this account. And that's week 3. So we're going to call it there. Like and subscribe, everyone, please. Thank you for watching. This has been Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. Be safe out there, and be excellent to each other.